So we're going to be recording this session so that we can share it with other teachers and other trainers afterwards if they can't attend, like we do each month. So I hope that with everybody. Okay, so welcome to this is the English Connects Teacher webinar series, and today the focus is on managing the lesson. This is the fourth webinar in this year's series, and it will be presented and led by a dear colleague from DRC, who will start in a minute. Maimuna, would you mind muting the participants now for the start of... Great, thank you. So on the agenda today, we're going to have, there we are. Before Joseph starts, we have introduction, a little introduction to the video training series. Then it's the webinar with Joseph on managing the lesson. And to finish, we'll have any questions and answers together. Introduction and technicalities. How are we doing this? We are delivering this now here on Zoom. We have three types of interaction. One will be raising your hand to answer a question or give an opinion or an idea. That's in green. In blue, Joseph might ask you to write an idea or an answer in the message comments. Or in yellow, we will send you into breakout rooms so that you talk in small groups, discuss for 2 or 3 minutes, and then we will close the breakout room and you come back to the plenary for Joseph to feedback. We will also be sharing some of the content in the Telegram group in parallel, so we're going to be doing that live and getting some feedback from participants who are joining in the Telegram group as well. And Maimuna, do you want to just say briefly about the certificate, and then we can remind people again at the end?
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Kira. So I'm going to share with you at the end of the presentation a Microsoft form that will allow you to have a certificate if you would like to have one. So it's not mandatory. So filling that form, will help you to have a certificate at the end. If you do not fill that form, you won't be able to obtain a certificate. So you will have around 3 hours to fill it, so do not hesitate to do it just after. And if you have problem to access it within those 3 hours, just get back to me and I will help you to do that. So just as a reminder, it's available just for 3 hours, and it's for those who would like to receive a certificate of participation. Thank you.
Thank you, Maimuna. Okay, so just a quick word on the new series, Secondary School Teachers, a video teacher training series. This is available now on the English Connect website for free, and it's a series of 10 videos from different Sub-Saharan African countries, and each video has a focus. One of those videos and one of those units is about managing the lesson. So after the webinar today, if you want to go and go deeper into this topic, managing the lesson, watch a video from a classroom and reflect on the elements of managing the classroom, you can do that. We will share the end of the webinar. That's just an example of the units. It's self-access. There's a video and book. They have accompanying objectives, and the answers. All the answers are in the book. So it's something that you can do for your own professional development as a teacher yourself, or maybe in a group with a trainer or an inspector is also a possibility. So we'll share that link to those resources at the end of the webinar in the Telegram group. Okay, that's enough from me. Now it's over to Joseph, and over to you, Joseph. Thank you.
Excuse me, Kiros.
Yes.
I have one participant who raised his hand. Technospark 7P, I think.
Okay.
Do you have a question? I don't know.
Perhaps if you can put it in the, if you can put it in the message.
Yes, message, yeah.
And then Maimuna can get back to you, if that's okay. And at the end of the webinar, we'll have questions and answers and discussion questions you have then. Okay, Joseph, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Kiros, for the floor. Hello, everyone. I am Mr. Kaleba Walingene Joseph. I am an EFL teacher, teacher trainer, and class vice president in DRC. Today, I'm going to talk about managing the lesson, which is one of the sequences of the videos as Kiros has introduced. And to start with next, I'm going to talk about the aim and objectives of this presentation. So the aim of this talk is to equip teachers with techniques and activities that help them to manage interactive and communicative tasks successfully in class. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, that's perfect.
Yes.
Thank you. And the objectives are, at the end of this session, that participants will be able to identify a number of techniques and approaches linked to learning activities that support successful classroom management. And also participants will be able to understand better the link between classroom management and successful learning. Next. So to start with, as you saw the topic, managing the lesson, I'm going to ask you to raise your hand and answer the following question. Brainstorm associated ideas about managing the lesson. When you have an idea, you raise up your hand and you can answer the question. Here you go. Are we together? Can you hear me?
Yes, we are together, sir.
Yes, I can get you.
So I am asking volunteers to raise up the hands and just brainstorm some associated ideas about managing the lesson. What do you understand by managing the lesson? Yes, I can see one hand. Sir, go ahead.
Hello?
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 Hello, I can hear you. Speak,
Hello?
please.
Okay,
Hello?
so, hello, everybody.
Hello? Just go straight to the point, sir.
I think he has a connectivity issue.
Okay. Another hand, perhaps?
Hello, are you getting me, please?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Okay,
sir.
so to my mind, when we talk about managing the lesson, there are ideas like lesson planning,
Yes.
lesson implementation,
Yes.
the use of non-verbal language, I mean body language, gestures,
Okay.
the use of interaction patterns, and also there is a good time management.
Great. That's fine. Okay. Is there any other who has an idea? Another thoughts? Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
All what you've said is just correct. It is among all the things that we call managing the lesson. When you manage the lesson well, it creates a strong foundation for learning to take place. Next, Kiros. So there are some factors. There are some factors which are framework for successful lessons. Are we together?
Yeah.
Hello, that's 10 seconds, please.
Oh.
Joseph? Joseph, have you
Hello?
dropped? Are you there, Joseph?
Yes, please. I can hear you.
Okay, Joseph, which are we still on this slide?
I would like to talk about some key factors first before they go into breakout room.
Okay, yes.
The next slide.
Okay, next slide. Sorry, yes. Okay.
There are some key factors which are framework for successful lesson.
Joseph, do you want, shall we put people into the breakout room now?
No, thanks. I would like just to go quickly,
Okay.
and they'll be just going to the break room later, if you don't mind.
Okay, yeah, fine.
Yes, please. So these key factors are clear lesson aims, lesson stages, next, clear instructions for each activity, presenting a variety of activities, effective monitoring, and so on and so forth. So these factors are so many, but because of time, we are just going to limit ourselves in discussing the 5 factors. And for the next slide, I would like you to raise hand again and answer the following question. What does the teacher do when giving clear aims? So when you have an idea, you raise up the hand and you answer the following the question. Because the first factor that we spoke about is giving clear lesson aims. Now I would like to know, as teachers, to give clear lesson aims, what do you do practically? Raise up the hand and answer the question, please. Kiros, next.
Suleiman Maimuna Job has raised the hand.
Yeah, that's true. I have raised my hand.
Yeah.
Okay, it is Suleiman. I wanted just to say that if you want to have clear lesson aims, you have first to be in compliance with the syllabus. You have to go back to the syllabus and know about the specific objectives of your lesson as well as the general ones before you design your lesson. So this is a very important fact. You go back to the syllabus, okay, whether you are teaching something about writing or about grammar or about vocabulary, you have to go back to the syllabus, and this will help you define clearly your aims, your objectives as far as the lesson is concerned. And now, by and large, you are progressing with the lesson now. You can define also some specific objectives. Okay, this I think is important. Being in accordance, in compliance with the syllabus will be helpful, because we teachers in general, we define our lessons accordingly to our own objectives without taking care of the syllabus. A lot of us even don't know whether there is a syllabus or not, and which one is suitable for this class or this other one. Okay, so I think that when you want to define clear aim for your lesson, you have to know what, okay, is, okay, predicted, what is given in the syllabus as the general objectives or specific objectives for that lesson, I think. Thank you.
Thank you too. Another idea?
Ferdinand?
Thank you for giving me the floor. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, very well.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Yes, I would like to say something about that. I see that to give clear aims of the lesson, as the previous said, for example, in our country, in DRC, we have this, what we call the curriculum. And from the curriculum, there are some objectives which are assigned for each lesson. So it is good to go back to your curriculum. You see the lesson you are teaching and the aim of that lesson according to the government as it is planned. And then you will get the idea to state the right aims of your lesson that you can implement while teaching. Thank you.
Thank you too. Any other idea? Okay, good idea and great contribution. Thank you very much. All these put together, let's just figure out that we are now in the classroom and we have to manage our lesson. So the ideas that you've just mentioned together with the previous one, so you will make the aim of the lesson clear to your learners. You need to tell them what they are going to do in that lesson and why they will do that. And more importantly, you also make expectations clear to your learners, so they know what they are required to do and what are the expectations for the lesson.
Yeah.
So the second stage is making clear lesson stages. After making your aims clear to your learners, the second one is clear lesson stages. In doing so, next, curious, I can see a hand. Would you want to speak a little bit?
Yes, I wish to make a contribution.
Yes, please.
Yes, in addition of reflecting and also preparing the different aims for that particular lesson, and in line with what you said about discussing this objective with the learners, I think there is also one very important part that is very good. We should not miss it out. Because the objective and the aim when you're discussing with the learner has to do with the general objective of that lesson at a particular time. But we also have to take into consideration the individual specific objective of each learner, which comes as a result of differentiating. Because for a particular class where there is a specific objective, there is going to be a particular objective for a particular learner in that class. Not all of the learners in that class are going to be evaluated on 100% based on the objective that you shared and you discussed with them. Some of them could be assessed in terms of if they meet up to that objective at about 70%, then you can come to a conclusion that the objective for that particular learner has been met depending on the learner's strength. Thank you.
Good idea. Thank you very much. And another factor that we would like now to talk about now, curious next, is clear lesson stages. You have already made the aims clear to your learners, and you need also to go to the clear lesson stages. As teachers, you need to guide your learners through your lesson. That is, after finishing one activity, you have to give a clear link to the next lesson stage so that your learners know where they are and where they are going to. And you need also to explain the next stages clearly and concisely. When I say explaining the next stages clearly, this means you need to tell them that after this stage, now we are going to do this. And this should be concise in the sense that it should be complete. And yes, I can see the hands. A contribution there? There's a contribution there, please. Yes.
It is Sulaiman.
Yes,
We have
please.
Samba also who raised his hand since the first question.
First of all, to ask a question over to know what.
Yes, can I have the floor?
Yes.
Okay, I wanted just to contribute about the first question, right? As my friend said, it's very important while designing a lesson, you know, to focus on the objective.
Okay. As you want to, as you love your pupils.
Can I keep on? Okay. I was saying that while planning a lesson, it's very important to mention, you know, the objective of the lesson, the expectation at the end of the lesson. And also a lesson need to be designed according to the level of your students. It's very interesting while designing a lesson because you are a teacher, you know exactly who is who in your class, right? And while also designing a lesson, it's very important also to look for books that can be helpful and in order to, to capture the objective of the lesson and make it accessible, which means, while designing a lesson, go straight to the point, right? In order to help the students to understand mainly, you know, at the end of the lesson, what you as a teacher are expecting from them. That's my contribution.
Thank you so much. That's good idea. So
hello.
When we hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, please.
So okay, I would like to give some contribution about this question.
At which stage, please? Because now we are on clear lesson stages. Is that what we want to speak about, or the previous point?
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, thank you for giving me the floor. It's my first time to attend this lecture, and it's very useful and interesting. So for me, a teacher should be as a guide like that, because you used to have some student older than you or some student that they are very child. So you have to be another guy like them or to be their friends. And you know that a student cannot have the same level.
Yes.
So you have to start with the basic level. Mean that those who don't have high level, you help them to be higher. And the list, you have to understand at the first time what they are waiting for you, what they wait for you, what you have to do, what is the end of the lesson, what the student can understand the lesson, what they should understand in the lesson.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know, actually, this stage cannot have just less than what you can say about this. But with your permission, I'm suggesting that we move on to the second point, which is clear lesson stage. And let me just repeat quickly what I said. I said that you should give your learners, you should guide your learners through your lesson. I mean, after finishing one activity, you must have a clear link to the next lesson stage, and you explain the next stage clearly and concisely. That is where I said, when it comes to explaining clearly, that is avoiding ambiguous things, and when it is concise, that is, it is complete. And you need to keep explaining the aims of the next stages. So for each stage, you need to explain the aim. When you move on to the next stage, you let them know that you are now tackling the next stage. Now, another factor, next slide, another factor in managing the lesson is clear instructions. For this one, I'm going to ask you to be assigned to a breakout room with other participants, and you will discuss the question I'm going to give to you. So you can assist us with technical matters. Get into the rooms. You click, you will see a link. They ask you to rejoindre in French.
Okay, so Maimouna has created the breakout rooms. You should be joining now. You'll have 3 minutes to discuss the question. And then we will close the breakout room, come back to the plenary. So 3 minutes to say hello and to discuss the question. What makes your instructions effective?
Hello everyone, can you hear me?
So what's the problem? We were, sent into a breakout rooms, but I cannot hear my friends talking. What's the problem?
You should just You should be able to just unmute your and speak. Joseph, just 1 more minute, and then we'll close the Maimuna. 1 more minute, and then close the rooms. In fact, we can close, maybe even close the room now because it takes 1 minute to close. Maimuna, can you do that, please? Maimuna, can you hear me?
Thank you, everyone. Now we are back again in the main room. Are we together?
Joseph?
Some people are joining back the main room.
Yeah, not yet.
Yes.
In about
19 minutes.
30 seconds.
Can you share what you discussed in your respective groups, please? Shortly.
Joseph, the rooms
a volunteer.
Yeah, the rooms are going to close in about 15-20 seconds.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we can still wait.
Yes, just yeah, just a few, about another 10 seconds now.
Okay. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, please.
Hi.
Hi. We can hear you.
Yes, yeah.
Joseph, you could select a group to feedback. So group 1, 2.
Okay.
How many groups were there? 5, I think, or 6.
I think there were 7 rooms.
Okay.
And we can ask what a volunteer from room 3 can share with us what they said. Room 3, please. If there is a person who is ready to share with us. No one? Room 5? Any idea in room 5?
In room 1.
Room 1, yes, please. You can share.
Yeah, in room 1, I was working with Party from Mali, and we said that instructions can only be effective if they are clear and short. And sometimes, oh, I'm working, and sometimes you need to make the student read the instructions. You yourself, the teacher, you write them down on the board. And Fatih has even explained that she, okay, sometimes types the instructions. And if, for example, she has 10 groups of students in the class, she shares with the groups so that they read the instructions clearly and be able to do the task as effectively as possible. And I say that myself in my classes, I always try my best to make the instructions clear by making one strong read, and I student by explaining to is about, and okay, make it easy for them to finish their work and go to another stage. This is what we said in room 1. It was Fatih from Mali and I, yes.
Can I jump quickly from room 3?
Yes, go ahead, room 3.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for this great question. But what we discussed from room 3 was one is when you want to make your instruction much more effective, we need to consider clarity. So try as much to be more precise when you give instruction to your student. That's one. Secondly, we discussed that they should be much more informative. Try to be much more informative as you can. And third, we say they should be relevant. When you give instruction to your student, ensure that those instructions are relevant to whatever topic or whatever subtopic that you want to write into your subject matter. And last thing is simplicity. So there should be simple to help a learner follow whatever things that they should follow in a classroom situation. Thank you, and back to you for more.
Thank you, Mahamba. Thank you for that. Great for your group. Do we have one more group would like to feedback to share your discussion?
Yes, group 2.
Group 2, yes, Samba.
Yeah, okay. I was discussing with some colleagues, right? And I think my colleagues have already said all. Just the thing that I wanted to add is, I mean, instruction need to be relevant, clear, according to the level of the students, and they need to be shortened, because when instructions are too long, they may disturb, trouble the students. They need to be shortened and well designed and accessible to the students. That's what we share.
Great point. Thank you for sharing that. Absolutely. I think everybody would agree with that. Okay. I'm just going to share some of the ideas from Joseph that echo your feedback. You can see those, I think. Comprehension check of questions. It's always good to check the instructions, as we know, with children and even with adults.
In line with all what you've said, that is great.
You're
You hear me, Kiro?
Yes.
Hello, Kiro?
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Over to you, Joseph. Thank you.
Thank you. So in line with all the contributions that have been given by colleagues in the breakout rooms, we can start summarize and add this. Teachers need to make instructions clear by explaining what the student should do, and to do also comprehension checks sometimes of the instructions. And as they said, to make it short, we need to give instructions stage by stage and use body language illustration. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can. Should we
Yes. The next factor is a variety of activities. So in varying activities, excuse me, varying activities stimulate students in different ways and engage, so learning takes place. Next. Now it's time on the next slide, very quickly. Let's go to message board. We are going to send a message giving examples of variety of activities that you know, and you say what such activity are used for. That sent, we go to message board, give examples of a variety of activities. So you can say X activity, and it can be used this way. X activity, just examples. You don't need to be exhaustive. You don't need to give all the activities, but just sample of activities. Message, please. We are waiting for messages. Kiros, can you see some messages already?
I'm just going to look now.
Okay. So the first one is warm-up activity. Warm-up activity topic. Did you see one of the kind in the message box? No? Kiros, what is happening?
Yeah, I can see board race games, hot chair songs, brainstorming, group work, pair work.
Great. So we can also, you can summarize this. Next, warm-up activity. We use warm-up activity to introduce the lesson topic, which is good. Okay. And group work. In group work, students discuss ideas, so a given task that the teacher has assigned to them. In pair work, yeah, pair work, students work individually, and then they compare the answers before feedback stage. And games, as it was said, of course. Excuse me. Students play games after doing tasks at their desk. They can even play the games as suggested by the teacher. Next slide, very quickly. You are going to be assigned to a breakout room again, a breakout group again with another participant and discuss this question. This question is, what is the purpose of each activity? We've spoken about warm-up activity, group work, pair work, game. So please, you have 3 minutes to discuss this one question. What is the purpose of each activity? So you can say, warm up, the purpose is this one. Group work, the purpose is this one. So go into your room and discuss this one question in 3 minutes time. Is that clear?
Yeah, people are joining the breakout rooms now.
welcome back. Is everyone back in the main room now?
No, not yet, Joseph. Another 30 seconds, and then everybody will.
Okay. Okay, lovely.
Hi, Curious.
Hi.
Hi. Is that okay now, Kiros?
Now.
Maimuna, is everybody back now? Can you see?
Yes,
No.
everybody is back.
Ready, free?
Okay.
We are back.
Yes, welcome back. And this is time to share what you discuss in your different groups about the purpose of each activity. Can we start with group 3? If there is an idea in group 3, the purpose, you just give one activity and the purpose of it to give room for other people to continue. Room 3, no one is available.
Okay. Hello.
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 So I was in room. I was in room 6.
Okay, room 6, please. Just give
Okay,
one activity and the purpose.
Okay, we talked about the warm-up activity. Okay,
Yes.
which we use most of the time to prepare the student for the next activities. Okay, we make them ready to face the other activities and to allow them to be at ease. Okay, you prepare them to be at ease and free at the same time.
Okay.
Group 1, Ken?
Yes, group 1.
Yes.
Is it our group 1, or we are in room group 5?
1.
Yeah, in group 5, I think, Suleiman.
Yeah, I'm in group 5, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. We were in group 1. We set up an activity and we give the purpose, which means group work. And we all know that sometimes students are a little bit shy while facing teachers, but between them, they can learn freely. And in a group work, it will be a kind of give and take, because sometimes, the students can explain fastly, students like him than the teacher, between teacher and students. And it will help also the students, to exchange with them in terms of knowledge, in terms of culture, in terms of, so many things, right? Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Now room
That's
5.
fine.
Group 2. Group 2. We can try.
Yes, please, group 2.
Yes, thank you for giving me the floor. I want to talk about another activity which we didn't mention because we discussed it in the group, and it is individual activity. The individual activity, even if it was not mentioned over there, but we have seen that it has a good purpose, which is to give learners, each one, to be more confident of himself, be able to make research and present or perform in front of the class. This helps learners to be more confident, not only relying by others, but is confident by himself.
Okay. Yes, we didn't forget individual work. We said in pair work, students can start working individually first, and then they can just combine the ideas before reporting to the whole class. So individual work was not forgotten about, as you could say. But that is good also, as you mentioned. Is there another group that can share with another worksheet activity, for example? What can be the purpose of
Group 3.
Group 5.
Yes.
Group 3.
Yes.
3. Group 3. Group 3, can I?
Yes, please,
Three.
you can.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, okay. So first we talked about warm up, the purpose. Now the purpose, the main
Okay,
purpose
warm
is
up
to
again.
make
Yes.
to get the students ready, okay, for the new lesson. It's like a football team, okay, before the match starts, okay, the players, they have kind of a warm up, okay, for the muscle to be ready. And here we want our student minds to be ready for the new lesson, okay, by tackling a little bit, okay, the schemata. And this is very important. Now, as for group work, okay, it is important, okay, because in group works, the main purpose is to develop among our learners communicative skills and also collaborative skills. This is very important because you can use group work to, I mean, to integrate the four skills, that is reading, speaking, listening, and writing. And by collaborating also, this is very important. They develop collaborative skills.
Room 5. Room 5.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, group 5.
Can I?
Yeah, room 5.
But quickly,
It was Fatih and I. Okay, and
I'm
we chose
asking
to
about
talk.
the activity, what we call worksheet activity. Is there any group that
About,
works on the purpose of that activity? Worksheet activity.
Room 5, I say.
Room 4.
Room 5. Please, can I?
I can see one raising hand. Group 5.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
We have chosen the activity of songs and games because we think that it is motivating for young learners.
Okay.
If they are getting indulged in songs and games, as they always will feel free, they will feel more enjoyable. These are activities that are more enjoyable for young learners. For beginners, we have said that it is a very good activity sometimes to deal with songs and games. Okay, because young learners have the possibility to repeat things they do at home, singing, watching TV, listening music, etc. When they come back to class, if you tend to repeat those kind of activities in the classroom, in the lesson management, it will be very helpful and motivating for them. We also said that group work is good because shy students can feel free in the group to give their opinion, to contribute, to participate. While if it is individual work, they will never ever speak in class. That's why it's important. These are two activities we have chosen to talk about. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So to summarize this, we can say that in warm-up group, the purpose is to capture attention and generate interest in the lesson theme. And in pair work and group work, students interact with and learn from each other. And there, the role of the teacher is to monitor. So the teacher can go around when the students are working in pairs or in groups. And the purpose of worksheet activity is to consolidate the language and provide a certain task, more energetic activity. And the last, let me just give some comments. Next slide. Here are some techniques to use to set up group activity effectively. So learners turn around on their seats to form groups. A group representative is selected to feedback the group's answers, and learners are in pair arranged before the game or activity same time and confusion. You can have, for example, football team name, and you name the team and team members and whatever. So this is how you can arrange the group work or pair work activities in the classroom. Next slide. So the next, which is the last factor that we're going to talk about today, is monitoring. Monitoring allows students to ask questions when the teacher is monitoring. It can go around the class and teachers can take advantage to ask questions for an and the teacher can answer the questions. The teacher can also assess the progress of the group work. You don't need only to stay in front of the classroom when you give an activity and you stay there. So now it's time to do the reflection. Next slide. We have discussed a variety of approaches to manage classes. The first question to you is, which technique do you already use in your class? And which approach would you like to try now? This is the first question. So a volunteer can raise up the hand and just contribute. We have less than 5 minutes to do this reflection. You have the floor. Hello?
Hello.
Yes. Which technique do you already use? We have just discussed different techniques and approaches. Which one have you already used in your class?
Fatih, you have your hand up.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, thanks for giving me the floor. The techniques I'm already using in my classes think, pair, share, pair work, group work, brainstorming, almost all really. Yeah, and I would like to continue using them to
and which one
satisfy all my learners, because they have different learning styles. So we need to have different variety of activities to satisfy all of them. Yeah, but the one I really like is the think, pair, share. Really.
Why?
Why? Because I found it very interesting for students. For example, if you ask them to think individually, they take time to think. And if you tell them to share with their neighbor, they discuss, they will have, sometimes they will have same ideas, or they can have different ideas. And then they will share with another group or the whole group. They really like it. That's why I like this activity. Yeah, and it permits to shy students also to speak, to be motivated.
Good. Another question is for another person. Which do you think are greatest challenges in managing your classes? So speaking about all the class management, managing the lesson, what do you think is the greatest challenge, or what are the greatest challenges when managing classes?
For me, it's group work.
Group work.
I think it's group work which is more challenging.
Yeah.
Because the class tends to be noisy. Yeah.
And
sometimes tends to be noisy, and if you don't pay attention, students are going to think that you have asked them to play or to discuss other matters. You have to be very careful.
So the class is noisy.
Yeah, in a group.
Do you mind? Excuse me. Do you mind noise in group work when you are?
Yeah, because they speak at the same moment.
They speak at the same moment.
I'm sorry, sir. If I can say something also.
Yes.
Yes. Noisy in the English class.
Yes, please.
It is not noise in an English class. It is not a noise if it is done in English, because this is the practice of the lesson of the language. But if it is done in another language which is not English, that becomes noise. That's why for me, I like it when they make noise in English. I'm really happy to hear that, because the language is taking place in learner's mind.
Can I complete him? Can I complete him? Would you allow me to complete him?
Go ahead.
You can go ahead.
Yeah, this is Prosper. The challenge that sometimes teachers face while ruling a class is that during group works, it happens that student can be calling you from this side to the other side, so you miss where to go, and you can happen to see the noise in the group work, as my co-participant has said. It's not a noise, because when a student happen to speak, this is the way of learning the language. Hello?
Yes, yes, we listen to you.
Yeah, I have been saying that
Okay,
the noise in the classroom while making the group work is not the noise, because in such way or such moment, the teacher has to assess himself that students are communicating to one another. And this is the success of the group work activity.
Yeah, it maybe
Yes,
depend
if I
on the
may,
purpose of
can
the
I say
noise. If the
something on
noise
that, please?
is for learning, if the
Maureen
noise is
has
for
raised
learning, it is good. But if
I would like to say something on that.
Joseph, are you there?
Uh-huh.
Or have you dropped out? Joseph?
I think Joseph has an issue with his mic.
Has an issue. Okay.
Yeah, but we have Maureen, we have also Claire who raised their hand.
Right. Okay, I think, yes, I think the time that we've run out of time almost. Perhaps just Maimuna, do you want to remind participants about the survey and certificates, and then we can do any questions and answers?
Yes, sure. So I am going to share with you the Microsoft form that you have to fill if you would like to receive the certificate of participation. It will be available for 3 hours after the presentation. So it is not mandatory, but if for those of you who are interested in receiving a certificate of participation, if you do not fill in that form, you won't be able to receive that certificate. And please, for those of you who use your phone name, could you please use also your real name so we can track also your email and make sure that we won't make any mistake in your certificate. So I'm going to share it below, and I'm also going to share it in the Telegram group for those who participate in the Telegram group. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to get back to me. Thank you.
I have a question.
Thanks, thanks, Maimuna. Okay, so we're going to open just a couple of minutes to questions, any questions that you might have. Can you perhaps put up your hand, and we can select. Prosper Mbuli, you have your hand up. Do you want to ask a question? Prosper.
Hi, can I?
Prosper Mbuli.
So Maimuna was talking to the group.
Can I?
Can I
Hello?
ask?
Go ahead, Prosper, please go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. A question. It's something like congruent the one who presented today, because we have been facing many problems as far as the group works are concerned. Most of the time in our schools, the principal find this like noisy. I would like to tell you if you could invite some principals to attend such activity and to know most of the time what are the different activities that the teacher can face while teaching this language. The recommendation that if you could
Thank you. Yeah, this is a good suggestion. Most of the head teachers don't speak English, and attending such a webinar, workshop or conference is not easy for someone who does not speak English. Good idea to invite them. That is good. Another question.
Thank you.
Yes, My question was about the certificate because says I have understood Mrs. I don't know, Madam Maimuna was talking about, but we don't have, I didn't see that form. She said we could complete. And yet I may wish to have a certificate for the attendance of this a workshop, and I don't know what can I do for that. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Ferdinand. I just shared the link in the chat box, and I also shared it in the Telegram chat box. So could you please go in the chat box and find the link over there? I'll reshare it right now for those of you who just reconnected. And if you have more questions, not hesitate. Thank you.
Yeah, I have a question. I have a question. Hello, can I?
Yes, please ask your question.
Yeah, I wanted to know
Yes.
how we should do, whether the form
I
she's
can
talking
hear
about
you.
will.
Ask your question.
Yeah, I wanted to know whether the form she's going to send us, okay, where will she send the form? Is it on our mailbox so that we can fill it in and send it back? I don't know. Okay, for having the certificates after this session.
Okay, thank you, Suleiman. It's in the chat box. If you click on chat, you will find two links, and it has been shared to everyone. Can you see it?
Where is the chat box?
Let me see.
I have it. I can see. For me, I can see it.
You can see it, Ferdinand. Okay, Suleiman, can you see it now?
The chat box? No,
Yes.
I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not
it's-
seeing.
Okay.
Chat box.
Would you mind repeating? Because the connection is now very bad. The connection is very bad. Please repeat the question.
Suleiman, I've shared it with you directly by direct message. Can you see it now?
With me? Yeah. I can see. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Can you see, all of you, can you see the link now?
Yeah, the link has appeared and gone back. I saw it, but
Okay. And Maimuna, we're also sharing the link in the Telegram group. Is that right?
Shared already. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
find
Okay.
Sorry.
Have a contribution, please.
Yes, I have shared it in the Telegram chat box as well. Please let me know if you haven't seen it. I can reshare it again.
I have a question.
Yes, please go ahead.
Well, thank you, Caleb, for a nice presentation. And I asked my question on the chat earlier on, but I want just to put it open at the moment. That when you talk of classroom management, sometimes culture diversity might affect the learners, might affect your classroom management. How do you work on the issue of lower context culture versus high context culture, especially on the issue of communicative purpose in a classroom? I hope that is much more clear. Caleb?
Joseph? Kiros, would you like to support with this question?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just typing a message on the Telegram group. I'm sorry, Mahamba. Could you repeat it briefly? Sorry, I got half of it, but not all of it.
Well, I said, like, I appreciate what Caleb has presented. Okay, guys, I think you can mute when I'll be asking. Thank you. So I was asking, like, one of the things that Caleb touched was the classroom management, and I was really, talking of the issue of cultural diversity. There's an issue of we call it low context culture versus high context culture, which sometimes affect the classroom management. How do you handle that when you come to the, how do you handle that situation of having the low context culture or versus high context culture situations when it's come to communicative category in a classroom situation management category?
Mohammed, by a high culture context situation, do you mean a classroom where there is a high level of cultural diversity, do you mean? So the students are speaking different mother tongues in the same class? Is that what you mean?
No, what I mean with low context culture is, you know, there are some countries where if you want to ask questions, like you at the end of the classroom, you want to ask a question, you find the student mute, they are quiet. So if a teacher does not really understand that kind of context, you may just find like, maybe these guys have understood your lesson, of which is not really true. The same applies to the high context catch. So I was just looking this category. How do you handle that situation? You go to the class, like for example, if you go in Japan, you know, when you ask a question, you find a student take time to respond. So if you're not familiar with that kind of culture, you might think like these guys are they don't respond. Maybe they are rude. So that is the thing I'm talking about. Variation of culture with the countries, and how do you handle that when you go to teach? Thank you.
Right. Yeah. I mean, personally, for example, you know, I'm a British. I grew up in the UK, and I was trained as a teacher, as a TEFL teacher in the UK, and then I went to teach in different countries. And so what you say is very relevant, because I went to work and teach in countries where I didn't understand the culture at all, zero. You know, I didn't speak the language, I didn't understand the culture, and it was very difficult for me to adapt, but I had to learn and try and get to know my students. I probably never understood it more than 30%, but at least I had an idea. I expect you know, if you're teaching in your own cultural context, you know, you're probably a better teacher for it. So knowing your students and their culture is, as you suggest, is really, really important, super helpful. I don't know if anybody else has a comment on that. If maybe you teach in multicultural contexts within your country, that might be a challenge for some of you.
Yes, another question?
Yeah, that's okay. I have already filled in the chat box and sent it back. Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I saw it now.
Kiros,
I did not see the link.
Kiros?
I saw it. I clicked on it and I filled in the form and I sent it back.
Okay. So Kiros, do we still have time, or we can now close?
I think yes. I think it's 20 past the hour, so I think we've run out of time a little bit. But I think so. A big thank you to you, Joseph, and thank you to Maimuna for supporting technically as well. But really, thank you very much for leading the webinar today, Joseph. It was great to have you.
And congratulations to the presenter too. Okay.
Yeah.
For clear ideas.
Enjoyed every minute of it.
And thank you to everybody for
congratulations, Joseph, for the presentation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you to the for attending, everybody. We're going to share the links in the Telegram group. So if you want the links to the video teacher resource and the presentation from today, you will find those in the Telegram group. So thank you very much. Maybe a round of applause for Joseph.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kirius. Thank you, Maimuna.
Okay, goodbye to all.
All of you.
Thank you very much,
this
everybody.
opportunity again.
Bye.
Have a good evening.